Rules for differentiation. There are several rules we can use when differentiating different functions. So let's say if f is a function with a constant value c, then d dx of c is equal to 0. In other words, the derivative of a constant is 0. The sum and difference rule. If u and v are differentiable functions of x, then their sum and difference are differentiable at every point where u and v are differentiable. So the derivative of a sum or difference is the derivative of each component and the corresponding sign that relates the two, be it plus or minus. The constant multiple rule. If u is a differentiable function of x and c is a constant, then we can pull that constant through and differentiate the variable itself. The product rule. The products of two differentiable functions, called u and v, is differentiable, and the derivative of uv is u times dv dx plus v times du dx. Also can be written in prime notation. So we can see this as the first times the derivative of the second plus the second times the derivative of the first. And when I refer to first and second, I'm calling u first and v second because we have u times v. The quotient rule. At a point where v does not equal 0, the quotient y is equal to u over v of two differentiable functions is differentiable. So what we have is the derivative of u divided by v is v du minus u dv over v squared. So this is best remembered with this phrase, low d high minus high d low over low low. So what that means is we'll call u high because it's on the top and v low. So low d high, derivative of high, minus u or high d low over low low, so v squared, v times v, so v squared. So low d high minus high d low over low times low. If n is a positive integer, then the derivative of x to the n is equal to n times x to the n minus 1. If n is a negative integer and x does not equal 0, the same formula can be used. An example of the power rule. This is really the most essential differentiation technique. This was labeled as pink in the first slide. So I have two examples here. So this is as simple as it gets. F prime of x is equal to 4 times 2 times x to the 4 minus 1. So f prime of x is equal to 8 times x to the third. F prime of x is equal to 5 times 3x to the 5 minus 1 minus 3 times 4x to the 3 minus 1 plus 1 times 3 to the x to the first minus 1 plus the derivative of constant is 0. So f prime of x is equal to 15x to the fourth minus 12x squared plus 3x to the 0, and we forget about that. So f prime of x is equal to 15x to the fourth minus 12x squared plus anything to the 0 is 1, so simply 3. So here's an example of the product rule. Differentiate f of x when f of x is equal to 3x cubed times 4x. So f prime of x is equal to the derivative of the first. So that's 9x squared. We're using the power rule here. So 3 times 3, and then 3 minus 1. So 9x squared. Derivative of the first times the second, 4x, plus the first times the derivative of the second, which is just 4. F prime of x is equal to 36x cubed plus 12x cubed. Combining the like terms, we result in 48x cubed. The power rule and the sum and difference rule. Differentiate f of x is equal to 5x to the 6th minus 4x cubed minus 2x. So f prime of x is equal to 6 times 5 times x to the 6 minus 1 minus 3 times 4 times x to the 3 minus 1 minus 1 times 2 times x to the 1 minus 1. F prime of x is equal to 30x to the 5th minus 12x squared minus 2 times x to the 0. X to the 0 is 1, so just leave the 2. So really, one should be able to go directly to this step, because the power rule and sum and difference rule can be used simultaneously, and this step here and this should be able to be done in the head. So looking at this 5x to the 6th, one should be able to just write 30x to the 5th as the derivative. This is an unnecessary but useful step when learning the process. The quotient rule. Differentiate f of x equals 3x to the 5th divided by 2x squared. So f prime of x is equal to, we'll use our special phrase, so low times the derivative of high, low d high, minus high d low, derivative of low, divided by low times low, so low squared. F prime of x is equal to, now it's simply simplifying the derivative, 30x to the 6th minus 12x to the 6th divided by 4x to the 4th. F prime of x is equal to 18x to the 6th divided by 4x to the 4th. F prime of x is equal to 9x squared divided by 2.